Howdy folks, Zach Smith, Pest Dude. Hey, we are dealing with cockroach issues and I want to talk about 3 products that are pretty darn safe around the house, okay? They're safe, we don't like to say safe too much in pest control, but they are safe in that their active ingredient is pretty easy to understand. 2 of these, the active ingredient is borax or borate, okay? There's a lot of different ways you can word borax, okay? Once you put it into formulations, it gets into some complicated names, but it's still just borax, okay? They mine it from the soil. There's borax mines right here in my state. They mine it from the soil, they mix it up, and they turn it into a pesticide. Why? Because borax is toxic to bugs, okay? It's very common. People often talk about making their own ant bait with just using sugar and borax. So you've probably heard that. So let's talk about some products, okay? Here's Nibor-D, okay? Nibor-D. This is a foaming product. It can be used though for cockroaches in drains. So if you're dealing with big fat cockroaches in your drains, which is often American cockroaches, it comes with a straw, you'll foam the drains and it foams, but then it leaves a residue of borate, okay? Stays a long time. Now you can also, if you look at this label, you can also use a spray applicator and it will spray a thick layer of that foamy goodness on surfaces. Now I'm thinking under your counters, places where you don't go and you don't see, but you want a long-lasting and relatively sticky borax product for cockroaches. They're going to walk through it, and when they groom, they're going to eat it, okay? So this isn't the industry's like go-to stuff, as you'll see. Most of the industry, is going to rely on insect growth regulators and a non-repellent spray application and baits, okay? But if you want to know more about why there are these borate products, look, there's a lot more on this label than just cockroaches, but this is really good. So especially if you're dealing with American cockroaches, because there's not a lot of pesticides you can spray in a drain, right? So this is one, Nibor, and it's made by Nisus, and Nisus makes a lot of good borate-based products. So here is another product that is borate-based, and it's got borate in the name, Boractin. So the other one was Nibor. So you can see here, borate, Boractin, okay? So this one here is made by Rockwell Labs, and this is an insecticide powder. So think about what you get in the Nibor is a kind of liquid foam, and what you get here is a dust, okay? So you can dust cracks and crevices and wall voids. If you have cockroaches in the wet wall, right, in your bathroom, in your kitchen, and they're coming out from around the drain pipe and other plumbing, and you can dust in there, that's what's on, this is on the label, okay? You can put this down as a barrier. Now, it's not going to kill them as they just walk by, right? That's why we say it's kind of safe, because it's also kind of slow acting. Again, they're going to have to walk through this, they're going to pick it up, they're going to groom themselves. Bugs often are just like cleaning their feet, and that's how they pick up a lot of these pesticides. So Boractin also has a pretty broad label. These things will work for other things that crawl around on the floor and under your cabinets and such in your home, can be for fleas and ants, earwigs, millipedes, centipedes, whatever. All the crawling things, when they crawl through it, they're all going to pick up the borate, right? The borax. All right. Now, and here's one that's a totally different active ingredient, okay? This is a silica gel. It's not gel like jelly. It's just really, really fine silica, okay? It's a desiccant. Not too different than those little packets that you find in your pill bottles and your protein mix, right? It sucks up moisture, and that's how Semexa works. So Semexa is famous for bed bugs, all right? But any bug that walks through your Semexa treatment is going to pick it up, and a good amount of that is going to desiccate and dry out, just dehydrate the bugs that walk through it, okay? So Semexa, again, is another pretty green product, pretty safe product, because unless you breathe it, don't breathe it. It's very fine dust. It's not toxic to breathe, but it can be an irritant. Semexa is a good one for wall voids, places where you want to apply a product that lasts a long time. If it stays dry, in your walls and the bugs show up again and again, it's not a terrible thing to have some waiting, but that's a little bit more what Boractin is built for, okay? So you'll hear about pre-treating, and sometimes you'll hear about this in structures, and more for termites and things like this, but it can be for any bug. If you're doing new construction and you've got a lot of insect issues and you want to before you put your drywall on, if you want to dust all the boards inside your walls, these are products that'll last. These will last for a long, long time, okay? So you can get all these on Amazon. We'll put a link in the description. Anything you buy, I get a teeny commission, supports the channel. But listen, I'm a pest pro. Just want to help you out to know what you're going to do yourself, because here's the thing. Once you see this and the other videos we've done about cockroach control and how to use these products, you're going to know whether or not you really want to do this yourself or if you want to hire a pro. Once you're armed with the knowledge, the know-how, and maybe you've tried it a few times, it's just not for you, at least when you're talking to a pro, you can say, hey, are you going to use a gel bait, a non-repellent like Alpine WSD? Are you going to use IGRs? You know, you're going to sound like you know what you're talking about, because you do, because you've been watching the Pest Dude channel, and then you may have some of your own products. If you do a little studying in pest control, science and theory, you'll be as at least as knowledgeable as a lot of technicians in the industry, okay? So, and there's AI too. So anyway, if you got any questions, you want to hit me up in the comments below, or go to pestdude.com and use the little contact us thing. If you got any questions, you know, reach out. I try to answer as much as I can. It's kind of hard, but you know, I want to help out. And yeah, so thanks, Pest Dude.